one of the realities of life is that sometimes our minds are going to get stuck focusing on the challenges and the struggles, the stress, whatever it is that's going on in your life at a given time. Sometimes we can't help it, and our mind is going to get stuck focusing on that. And all it does is it brings us down. It brings in the discouragement, the frustration, the depression, all of that. And so a piece of advice that somebody gave me a long time ago, in fact, I've probably heard this multiple times from multiple people over the years, but it goes something like this. When you're having those feelings of, kind of getting stuck or fixated on your problems, go and find somebody to serve. Go and do something for somebody else, because it's going to take your mind off of your problems and give you an opportunity to do some good in the world, to help somebody else's life to be a little bit better. So it's kind of a win-win. And I've seen this story floating around on social media, I don't know, for a while now, off and on. And it didn't have a name, so I gave it a name. I'm calling it A Hole in the Boat. And I'd like to read this to you. It's pretty short, but it's a really cool story, and I think you'll enjoy it. A painter was once hired to paint an old boat. He arrived on the property with his brushes and the bright red paint that the owner had requested and went to work. Not long into the project, he noticed there was a small hole on the bottom that needed to be patched. Knowing this was an easy fix, he went to his truck, retrieved some additional tools, then returned to the boat and patched the hole. Several hours later, the paint job was completed, the painter was paid for his work, and he went on his way. 2 days had passed, and while the painter was preparing for the day that morning, he heard a knock at his front door. He opened the door and to his surprise found it was the owner of the newly painted boat. Without delay, the man said, "This is for you," and handed the painter an envelope. Inside the envelope, the painter found a check with an amount that was several times more than the job had cost. Confused, he looked up at the owner of the boat and said, "But sir, you already paid me when I completed the job, and this is quite a bit more than we'd agreed upon." With a smile on his face, the boat owner replied, "But this isn't for the paint job, it's for repairing the boat." "Oh, that was nothing. It was a quick fix that I was able to do with no problem at all," the painter said while attempting to return the check. The man shook his head and said, No, you don't understand. I had completely forgotten to ask you to fix that hole, and when I returned home from work yesterday evening, I discovered that my kids had taken the boat out on the lake. Your simple repair may very well have prevented a tragedy, and I owe you far more than the amount on that check. I owe you the lives of my children and could not possibly repay you, so I ask that you take this small amount along with my deep gratitude. Now, I like this story because it really illustrates the power of a really small act. I mean, this guy goes, he's going to paint the boat. That's what he's hired to do. And he sees something else that to him seems very, insignificant. And it would have been easy to just think, well, he didn't ask me to fix this. He's not paying me to fix this. He probably knows about it, so I'll just let him take care of it. But instead, he took it upon himself. He saw a problem, and he took it upon himself and went and took care of it and fixed it. And, as I think back on my own life, I can see many times when somebody did something for me, just a simple, small act of kindness, even as simply as saying hello, in the hallway at church or school or, whatever. Just these little small acts of kindness that we do on a daily basis can sometimes, be a ripple effect for good and really make, a very big change in people's lives. And so my challenge to you as well as to myself is to, be on the lookout constantly for opportunities to serve those around us and to look for opportunities to help people in need whenever we can. And it doesn't mean you have to rescue somebody from, a robbery or, I don't know, I'm thinking of something really big and dangerous. You don't need to be a superhero. You don't necessarily need to do something that is big and has a huge impact right at that moment. But just look for those opportunities to just do good deeds as you go throughout your day. And that's the message today. I wish you well. God bless and take care.